Who is your favorite character in Harry Potter? Not who the story is about. Who is your favorite? Is it Hermione or Snape or Luna, or maybe it's Hagrid or Sirius? Okay, think about it. Now think about your favorite from Lord of the Rings. How many of you immediately thought of Sam? I did. Or the Hunger Games. Maybe Haymitch. Or in the Marvel movies, maybe Loki comes to mind. The question is, have you ever noticed that this is how people answer this question? Who is your favorite? And quite often, it's not actually the protagonist at all that we love the most. Why is that? If you think the author accidentally made a supporting character more interesting, then I think we're diagnosing the wrong problem, because actually I think it's something else happening entirely with these characters. Let's figure out what's really going on. If we haven't met before, I'm Melissa Bourbon. I have written more than 35 novels across mystery and magical fiction and women's fiction. Welcome back to Diagnosing the Problem. This is where we're not treating symptoms. We're trying to figure out what's actually wrong with our stories. Today's diagnosis is one that catches a lot of writers off guard, I think. You get feedback like, I loved your protagonist, but honestly, I wanted more of her best friend. Or something like, the mentor was my favorite. Or I just couldn't get enough of the villain. Hello, Loki. Okay, at first, it might sound like a compliment, right? But then you start wondering, if you're like me, wait, did I make the wrong character more interesting than my protagonist? My protagonist is supposed to be the most interesting, right? My main character carries the story. Okay, here's what fascinated me once I started paying attention to this. This is the teacher in me. It doesn't just happen in unpublished manuscripts. This happens in some of the greatest stories ever written, right? Readers adore Samwise Gamgee, maybe more than Frodo, Hermione or Hagrid or Snape, more than Harry often, or Haymitch more than Katniss, Luna Lovegood, Loki again, Lula in the Stephanie Plum books. The list goes on, and we need to figure out the common denominator. The authors of these iconic stories, I think they knew what they were doing. I hope so. I don't think it was just luck. I think Tolkien was a pretty smart guy, so I'm pretty sure that he didn't accidentally make Sam lovable. I think he wrote Sam with intention. I bet J.K. Rowling didn't accidentally make Hermione unforgettable, or Suzanne Collins didn't accidentally make Haymitch fascinating. So the question then is, why do we sometimes, as readers, walk away loving the supporting character just a little bit more than the main character, the protagonist? That's the mystery, right? And is it good or is it bad? Here's what I think is the most common misdiagnosis when we think about this as a problem. Most writers assume the answer is obvious. In order to become more likable or memorable than the supporting character that threatens to steal the show, then they think, okay, well, my protagonist needs more personality, or they need to be funnier, or they need to be more sarcastic, or they need to be more mysterious, or they need a tragedy, something in their backstory. All the things that might make them more interesting. So we start adding those things, right? Another quirk, another emotional wound, another page of like internal monologue or something like that. But I don't think that's actually the diagnosis. I don't think that's what the real problem is. I started thinking about this while I was rereading Lord of the Rings recently. Really, I was listening. One of my sons suffered a bad concussion back in March and he couldn't do much. So he started listening to podcasts and then to books. So he downloaded The Lord of the Rings, which he had read in high school and loved. We all share an Audible account, so I listened too. What I found was that every time Samwise showed up, I got happy. I looked forward to his scenes. As a writing teacher, of course, I started to ask myself, okay, why is this? Why? What is it about Sam? I think Frodo is still one of my favorite protagonists. He's the only one who can destroy the ring, right? He makes huge choices and sacrifices. He's memorable and he's likable. So why does Sam steal so many readers' hearts, including mine? I started wondering if he was maybe written better, but no, again, I don't think Tolkien did this, without a plan. What I finally realized was that Sam had a completely different job than Frodo did within the story. That's the diagnosis. Supporting characters are not trying to carry the whole story. They are allowed to embody just one sort of unforgettable quality. It's not that they're one dimensional, they're not necessarily, but they are more focused. Sam embodies loyalty, right? Hermione embodies like competence and preparedness. Haymitch embodies this hard earned wisdom from when he played the games. It's wrapped up in cynicism. Luna Lovegood embodies wonder. Think about it this way. Supporting characters are like spice when you're cooking. Cinnamon doesn't have to be an entire meal. It just has to taste unmistakably like cinnamon, and it complements the main meal. That's the job of the supporting character. Your protagonist is the whole meal. The supporting character is like a little extra spice. Almost every scene they're in reinforces the one essential part of who they are. Our protagonists don't have that luxury, do they? They have to be contradictory. They are messy and uncertain and afraid and hopeful and wrong. The bottom line is the protagonist must grow. They are on a hero's journey. They have a character arc. They go from point A to point B throughout the course of the story. They're carrying the sort of emotional complexity of being an entire human being. And that is a lot, right? And a supporting character doesn't have to do that. Let's go back to Samwise. If I asked you to describe him in a single word, I bet most people would say that he is loyal. And it's not because Tolkien tells us Sam is loyal. It is, think about it, it's because every important decision that Sam makes reinforces that specific quality, his loyalty. Every time Frodo wants to quit, Sam stays. Every time Frodo falls, Sam lifts him up. Every decision Sam makes answers the same question: what does loyalty look like? The story keeps revealing that same truth about him, but from different angles. The same thing is true of Hermione. She's brilliant, right? She's prepared. She's capable. Whenever somebody doesn't know what to do, $20 says Hermione has already read about it. She's ready. She knows what to do. She knows the answer to the question. Those scenes reinforce exactly who she is. So it's very satisfying for the reader. She lives up to our expectations of her. I've seen this happen in my own writing, actually. Every once in a while, I realize I'm having more fun writing a supporting character than writing my protagonist. This was very, very true when I was writing my very first book, Living the Vida Lola. I loved Lola. I still do. But I had a lot of fun writing Riley, the quote-unquote sidekick. She could be zany and she could go against the grain in a way that Lola couldn't. Lola was trying to succeed as a PI, not only in a man's world, but also in a cultural sense. As a Latina, her family had these cultural expectations of her. So Lola had a lot of things to prove, and she couldn't afford to be overly zany. Riley could. She didn't have anything to prove. And Riley's zaniness sometimes helped Lola with her cases, but Riley was never the one calling the shots or making the decisions. Samwise is never the one calling the shots for Frodo. He's there to support Frodo. Hermione supports Harry. With my character Lola and Riley, I was at times worried that Riley was stealing the scene because she was so fun. But now looking at it, I see it differently. What I know now that I didn't know then is that supporting characters are often allowed to be very distilled. They're like that spice in the recipe, where my protagonist has to carry the entire emotional meal. The supporting character is just one part. Those are such different responsibilities for the characters. Here's where this can become a problem with our writing. Supporting characters are supposed to embody something that supports the protagonist, right? They're supposed to like sharpen the story or illuminate something about the main character. They're supposed to be that helper. The problem is, though, I think that sometimes we make the mistake of having them do the protagonist's job for them instead of letting the protagonist call the shots or do their job. Let's go back to Harry Potter for a second. Think about Hermione. Yes, she solves problems. Yes, she figures things out. Yes, she saves Harry more than once. But the story doesn't belong to Hermione. And that is because all of the defining choices still belong to Harry. Harry has to choose to face Voldemort. Harry has to choose to walk into the Forbidden Forest. Harry has to choose to sacrifice himself. Yes, Hermione helps him. Yes, Ron helps him, and Hagrid and Dumbledore, and even Snape. He's challenged. These characters support him, but none of them carry the central sort of transformation that Harry goes through as the hero of this story. Sometimes I think we just misunderstand supporting characters and what they're supposed to do. So instead of thinking that they're stealing the story, we need to realize that they're doing exactly what they are supposed to do. As supporting characters, they embody some specific trait that helps the protagonist on their journey, and that trait and who they are stays constant throughout the story. Think about it. The supporting character doesn't evolve in the same way that the protagonist does. The protagonist has to evolve, and the supporting character is there to help that happen, that story arc happen. So the problem isn't that we love Sam more than Frodo. It would only be a real problem if Sam started carrying the decisions that belonged to Frodo and somehow then became the protagonist of the story. That is not the case. Frodo is still the protagonist of the story. He is the only one that can destroy the ring. Sam is with him on his journey. Sam holds him up on his journey, but Sam is not the protagonist. Okay, what does this mean for your novel and my novel? If you have supporting characters or a supporting character that everyone loves, first of all, don't panic. I think that that could be a really good sign that this character is doing something very important for your protagonist, filling a gap in what the protagonist is able to do. If you have a supporting character that you think might be stealing the show, stealing the scenes, then ask yourself, who is making the story's defining decisions? That's it. I'm not talking about the funniest decisions or the cleverest ones, the ones that actually change the direction of the story. Whose story is it? It is still Frodo's story in Lord of the Rings. It is still Harry's story in Harry Potter. So if those choices belong to your protagonist, then you're in good shape. If they belong to someone else, then you've probably found the real diagnosis, and your supporting character may be stealing the scene because they're suddenly making decisions that probably they shouldn't be making. Think about Haymitch in the Hunger Games. Yes, he is fascinating, he's broken, he's funny, he's wise, he's all of the things. But imagine Haymitch making every decision for Katniss. Imagine if Haymitch decided who she could trust or what she could do when she is in the Hunger Games, or if he was the one pulling literally all the strings. It would not be Katniss's story anymore, right? It would be his story. And that is the difference. Supporting characters can steal scenes, and truly that is okay. But they cannot steal the protagonist's journey. That's the bottom line. So maybe your supporting characters aren't too interesting. Maybe they are doing exactly what great supporting characters have always done, what they're supposed to do. They're embodying some unforgettable, important quality that is filling a space for the protagonist. Your protagonist has a much harder job. They have to become someone different by the end of the story. The supporting characters don't. They're just helping the protagonist on their journey. Sometimes this makes supporting characters really lovable immediately. Protagonists, on the other hand, usually have to earn our love over a period of time. Unless you've accidentally handed the protagonist role to someone else, you're probably okay. You want to make sure your supporting character assists your hero, your protagonist, but doesn't steal their journey. Okay, this week, think about your favorite supporting character and in your own writing, and ask yourself a couple of questions. What quality do they embody? What are your protagonist's defining decisions? And then lastly, if this supporting character disappeared tomorrow, what would your protagonist have to do differently? If the answer is not much, then great. Then they are the ones that are supporting the story. They are carrying the story. But if your protagonist, for example, suddenly has to solve the mystery because the supporting character was the one that solved something, or make harder decisions because the supporting character was the one making hard decisions, or drive the story because the supporting character was the one driving the story, you've probably found the diagnosis. Here's the shift I hope that you leave with. Great supporting characters are not a problem to solve. They are what I like to see as proof that you have created someone readers care about. The question, though, is who is carrying the story? It cannot be the supporting character. It must be your protagonist. So the question isn't what character readers love the most, it's whose journey are they following. Supporting characters may steal scenes, and that's okay. But the protagonist must always carry the story. Okay, next week we are going into another diagnosis, and this is why your character's goal isn't strong enough. Even a protagonist who is making all the right decisions won't necessarily hold readers if those decisions are not pulling them towards something that matters. So why goal is not always enough. So before you make your protagonist more interesting, or you go, adding quirks and backstory trauma and things like that, make sure you're solving the right problem. Make sure your supporting character is embodying a trait that is going to assist your protagonist on their journey. If today's diagnosis helped you see your cast of characters a little bit differently, and I hope it did, I have linked another diagnosis right here that I think you will enjoy. And before you start, cutting out your favorite supporting characters, make sure you're solving the right problem. Small moments shape the reading experience. I'll see you in the next video.